Good day, everybody. I hope that you are well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 4 English lesson on shades of meaning. And before we start, we're going to log on to aplusstudents.ca. Once you've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of English Language Arts. We're doing grade 4, and then we're going to scroll down up until we get to our chapter of Shades of Meaning. All right, so our chapter is Shades of Meaning. Our subject is English Language Arts. We're doing grade 4. And the lessons that we are going to be focusing on under the chapter of Shades of Meanings is to describe the difference between related words and then also positive and negative connotation. All right. So when it comes to shades of meaning, right? So we have some of our words, right? That are, we can say that some of the words are either they are alike in the sense of like the meanings are kind of the same, right? Um it's also alike in the sense of you think that these words are all the same. However, if you look at the meanings of those words, then you'll see there are slight differences in meanings. So there's slight differences in meanings, right? So some of the words are alike or they are the same, or we can sometimes use it, let's say, within the same kind of context, but they have small differences in meaning. And the differences in meaning that we are talking about, right? We call them shades of meaning. So those differences in meaning, we call that shades of meaning. So some of our words are alike, but they have small differences in meaning. Meaning that if we look at these words that we can sometimes use, let's say almost like kind in the same context. But if you go to the dictionary and you look at the meaning of these words, then the meanings are like slightly different. We call that shades of meaning. And if we look at the few examples, right? Then look at the example, look at the words stare, peek, and glare. If we look at those words stare, peek, and glare, right? These are words that are kind of similar to one another. And when I say they're kind of similar to one another, because if you look at the word stare or peek or glare, you'll think like, oh no, it's basically the same. But if we're going to look at the definitions of these words, you will see how the you'll see the small bits of differences within that meaning, with the in the meaning of those words. All right. So now, if we look at the meanings, or if we look at those words, which is stare, peek, and glare, right? So, stare, the definition of stare, or the meaning of stare. So, the meaning of stare is to look at something for a while. I'm specifically just going to underline for a while. So, to look at something for a while, it's like you are staring at that person, or you're staring at that thing. You're looking at it for a while. If we look at the word peek, so peek is also to look at something, but it's to look at something quickly. It's almost like you're hiding and now you're peeking through something to look at something quickly because you don't want somebody to see you. And if we look at the word glare, glare is also to look at something, but it's to look at something in an angry way. So it's to look at something in an angry way. So if you look at all three of those words, which is stare, peek, and glare, yes, all three of those words, it means to look at something, but it is to look at something differently. It's to look at something differently or in different ways. Right? So when it comes to shades of meaning, the same like stare, peek, and glare, we have words that are alike, but they have small differences in meaning. Yes, all three of these words, it means to look at something, but it is to look at it's to look at something in different ways. All right. So we call this shades of meaning. And remember, you need to keep in mind also when it comes to shades of meaning, yes, you will have words that, they are alike. You can maybe try to use it within, your writing, but you also need to be careful how you are going to use it because remember, as a reader, we tend to read based on what we think you're trying to say. And sometimes if you're going to use the wrong words, then it's not going to come across properly. Another word, right? Or a few more words that are also shades of meanings or examples of words can be where we say friend, acquaintance. Do I spell acquaintance like that? So acquaintance, I'm just trying to my English. So you have friend, then we also have the word acquaintance, right? And if you look at that two words, friend or acquaintance, these two words, yes, they are alike, but the meaning are slightly different. Yes, both of them mean that that you are close to someone, but oh, and then you have confidant. So this is actually the order. The order is actually acquaintance, then we have friend, then we have confidant. That is actually the order. And if we look at these three words, right, we need to also be careful how we use these words because people tend to use the words in a context that, for example, you think is the same, but it's actually not. Like for example, acquaintance. Acquaintance is it's like when you met somebody randomly and now the two of you are just starting to talk. It's more like that thing of, oh no, yes, I know Nadine. Let's say, for example, you guys know each other here on the chat, right? Because we do the same lessons, same grade, same lessons. But that doesn't necessarily make you friends. And we call you guys acquaintances. So ever that you are here, that you're befriending here on the chats, but you haven't seen the person, that is actually just an acquaintance, not a friend, an acquaintance. Then if you look at the word friend, then friend on the other hand is somebody that you can like, okay, is somebody I can rely on, somebody that I talk from time to time. Yes, it is somebody that must have my back and I will have his or her back too. That is a friend. And then we have a confidant, right? And a confidant is more somebody that you trust wholeheartedly. If you're not in the room, they're not going to be gossiping about you. They will have your back. If there's somebody that you trust fully, it is your confidant. So that is a slight differences. Yes, all three of them, you know them like an acquaintance, a friend, a confidant. You speak to the person, you're familiar with the people. However, the relationship between like an acquaintance, a friend, and a confidant is totally different. All right. So we call that shades of meaning. Once again, it is words that are alike. And we made an example of stay, peak, or glare, or words that are alike, like acquaintance, friend, or confidant. However, they have small differences in meaning, right? And we need to be able to know how and when to identify, you know, or when to use a specific word based on the meaning. Like, for example, stay. It's like when you're looking at something for a while. So instead of saying, oh, no, I was speaking at them. Peeking is when you look at something quickly, not when you're looking at something for a while, right? I glared at him, but you actually want to say that you looked at something quickly. Glare is something, looking at something in an angry way. So that is why I'm saying you need to be able to know how or when to use it in a specific context. All right. So now we're going to A plus students.ca. We are going to describe the difference between related words and we're going to look at the positive and negative connotations. All right, so we're going to look at the difference or to describe the differences in meaning or differences between related words. All right. All right, so here we're saying that some of the words, once again, are alike, but they have small differences in meaning. And those small differences in meaning, we call them shades of meaning. Shades of meaning. All right. If we look at the word sneaky, right? If we look at the few words and then we're going to our test, it says, which is sneaky? Something that is sneaky, right? Or someone that is sneaky. Either something or someone that is sneaky. And we can say it is someone or something that creeps around, creeping around. Which can be hard. We need to say which can be hard. Yeah. It says which can be hard. So yeah, they're saying soft means it's not hard. Smooth means it's not bumpy. So something smooth can be hard. I don't know. That's the first time that I hear that something smooth can be hard. Right? All right. So now let's go to our test where we're going to describe the differences between related words. All right. So now it says which is bigger? Option one, a hill or a mountain. Which one is bigger? So we need to say which one is bigger. Is it a hill, option one, or a mountain, option two? And if we were to choose the correct option that is bigger, then yes, we can say a mountain is bigger. Yes, well done. A mountain is bigger. Which one is better? Something pleasant or something delightful? Which one is better? Something pleasant or something delightful? Something pleasant or something delightful? Something delightful is more enjoyable, entertaining, amusing, whereas pleasant is friendly, enjoyable. So, which one is better? Something pleasant or something delightful? All right, and if we were to choose the correct option, and then yes, something delightful, it's enjoyable, that is better. Which word shows angry? To glare at something or glance at something? To glare at something or glance at something? So the word that shows anger, glare or glance? Glare option 1 or glance option 2? And if we were to choose the word that shows anger, then yes, we'll go with option 1, because remember we said it's when you look at something or someone in an angry way. Well done. Glare is correct. The next one says, which is often worn by a team? Which is often worn by a team? Is it a uniform or a costume? A uniform or a costume that is worn by a team. Is it a uniform or a costume? And if we were to choose the correct option, something that is worn by a team. And then we can say it is a uniform. Because if you go to work, some people wear uniform. All right, which is larger? Is it a meal or a snack? Which one is larger? A meal, option 1, or a snack, option 2? And if we were to identify which one is larger, then we can say a meal is larger. Well done. A meal is correct. All right, which is not as nice? Which is not as nice? Is it stealing something, option 1, or borrowing something, option 2? Yes, a meal is correct. Which is not as nice? Is it to steal something, option 1, or to borrow something, option 2. And if we were to identify something that is not as nice, then stealing is definitely taboo. It is not nice at all. Yes, well done. Stealing is not nice. Which shows complaining? Somebody's constantly complaining. Is it option 1, whining, or option 2, just having a conversation and talking? And if we were to choose the correct option, then yes, whining. It's like you are constantly complaining. You in somebody's ear, somebody does something and you're complaining. Somebody does just stays out the window and you're like, Miss, look what the person is doing. You are whining is complaining. Yes, so well done. Whining is correct. Well done. Which is later? Which is later? Is it the night or the evening? The night or the evening? Which one is later? Is it the night that is later or the evening is later? And if we were to identify which one is later, and then I think it is the night. I've actually never seen the difference because usually evening is night. But at least now we know it's like night, probably like when they say, oh no, during the night, then that's probably like morning hours, I guess. But well done. The night is correct. Well done. Now we're going to positive and negative connotation, right? So with our words also, right, we have some words that might be a bit similar, but some of the words might mean something good, might mean like positive or good, or some of the words might be negative, which is like kind of bad, right? But if you look at both of these words and then you'll think like, okay, these words are actually similar, right? So when it comes to negative or positive connotations, connotation is the feeling or idea that goes along with a word or it goes with a phrase. And some of the words are close in meaning, but they have different connotations. For example, like if you look at the word eager or impatient, like it's now going to be, Christmas, and some of you cannot wait for Christmas because there's already gifts under the tree, right? So now it's like you want to open your gifts. So that is also where the word, let's say, impatient and eager comes in, because eager would mean that, it's like you are happy, you're excited, you cannot wait, for Christmas. Two more sleepies, three more sleepies, you're counting off the amount of sleeps that you must have. And then we have the word impatient. So eager would be like more of a positive word, a nice word, but impatient would be a bad word or a negative connotation, because impatient means that you are pushing, you demanding. It's like, yo, like, can't it be Christmas already? Like, it must still be the whole weekend, and it must still be a Monday and a Tuesday before Christmas. That means that you are impatient. You'll even go to the gift during the night and go and peek, right? So eager and impatient are like kind of the same words. It's just that the one is more negative and the one is positive, right? All right, so now we're going to our test and we're going to say which word is positive or which phrase is positive and which phrase is negative. So here it says which phrase has a negative, a not so nice connotation. Is it option one, talk about something, or option two, boast about something? Which one is correct? So a negative connotation, is it just like, no, I'm talking about something like, I think, in one of my gifts it's going to probably be like an iPhone something, um because that is always something that I wanted. So it's just like, and what do you think you might get? That it's like, you're not just talking. But now, if you're going to be boasting about something, it's like, yeah, I'm going to have an iPhone 16 and you guys don't have that. And you understand? That is boasting. Like, oh, I got this and mine is better. Boasting is negative. So well done. Boast is correct because it's more of a negative. The next one says, which phrase has a negative connotation? Is it if you're scowling at someone or frown at someone? Scowl at someone or scold at someone or frown at someone. I don't know if the word is scowl or is supposed to be scold. Scowl is like when you have more of a, it's like you have a bad temper expression. It's like you're stressing and tripping on people. Frown is like you're just pulling your face. So which one has a negative connotation? So option one, scowl, or option two, frown. And if we were to choose the correct option, then we can say it is remember frowning, it's like when you're just pulling your face. It's like if you frowning is like when you are pulling your face at someone. But scowling, it's like where you are, it's almost like you have a bad temper. You're rude. You say things in a more angry or bad tempered way. Your expression is rude and angry. That is scowling. So that is why the negative is scowl. So, and well done for trying. All right. Which has a negative connotation? Is it a reason or an excuse? A reason or an excuse? A negative connotation. A reason or an excuse. And if we were to choose the correct option, then somebody who constantly has an excuse or makes excuses, that is more negative. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson on shades of meanings. We said shades of meanings, it's when you have words that are alike, but there is slight differences in meaning, right? And we need to know how to identify those meaning. Then we also have positive and negative connotations. When it comes to positive and negative connotations, we can have words that are kinder or similar, but the one of the words might mean more of a positive connotation, or the other word might have more of a negative meaning to it. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for interacting, and I really hope that you're going to have a good weekend further. So, till next time, goodbye.